So now let's suppose if you want to select something and you want to store the value of that in some sort of a variable, so you can also do that. So let's suppose if I want to select that h1, so I'm going to just write const h1 or let h1 or var h1, so you can use whichever kind of you like, but in my case I'm going to just select that h1, and here I'm going to just write doc document.query selector of our h1. Okay, so we are using a tag selector, so if you just log that to the console like h1, and if you save that, it will just log that h1 to the console. And the name doesn't matter, you can give him like apple name. Let's just select that apple, and it will still work, but you have to specify the correct selector inside this method. Method right here. Okay, this is just a simple variable, so you can store your values inside this variable. So I'm going to just set back that to h1. So h1, you can also just set that to like I don't know, h1l or element if you want to, but in my case I'm going to just stick to that h1. So if you save that, it will not use us that h1. If you want to store multiple values like query selector all, and you want to select that li's, so if you save that, it will not use the collection of all of these li's right here. Okay, so everything is working the way we expect him to work. Okay, so we are totally done with this section. So in this section we just learn about a few. So everything is out there. It will not use the collection of all of these allies right here. Okay, so if you save there, it will not use the collection of all of these allies right here. Okay, so everything is working the way we expect him to work. Okay, so we are totally done with this section. So in this section we just learn about a few selectors. We learn about get element by tag name. It allows us to select something by using a tag name. Then we learn about get element by ID. We also learn about get element by class name. We learn about a query selector and query selector all. Query selector and query selector all will allow us to select our element by just using CSS classes like period, pound symbol, and all of that kind of a good stuff. But this will just give us the first element, but it will not give us the collection. And this one will give us all of the collection like so. Okay, so now it's challenge time. I want you to just open this file, and I want you to just open this app.js file, and I want you to just read through this instruction and solve this challenge by yourself. If you can do it, that's totally okay. Then I want you to come back and continue with the video, and now I'm gonna give you my solution. So what are these sayings? And continue with the video, and now I'm gonna give you my solution. So what are they saying? Select element h4 which holds the text of red by using get element by tag name. So let's just explore our HTML. I'm gonna hide this head area. So we have this h4 with the text of red right here. So what do we have to do? We have to select that by using get element by tag name. Oh my goodness, just kind of the most simplest challenge I can give you. So let's just write const and let's just store that inside h4, and I'm gonna just use document dot get elements by tag name, elements by tag name, like so. Now let's just put our h4 in it, and now let's just log that to the console like h4, and now if you save that, and boom. Okay, so we have to launch this index.html file, my bad. Launch this one, save a byte to the other one, open our console, and here you go. We have our h1, and we have our h4 right here with one element selector right here. Okay, so let's just refresh that, open it, and there we go. We have our h1, h4. All right, so that was the first solution. Now the next the next thing which you have to do is that we have to select a div with a class of green which hold the text of green as well by using get element by tag name. So let's just explore that. We have a div with a class of green, and we want to select that by using this get element by tag name. So let's just write or const and then green in this case, and document dot get elements by what, by class name. And now let's just put, or not period, but we just have to specify the name because we are not working on a query selector. And now let's just log that to the console like green, and if we save that, it will not. Okay, so something isn't working. Get element by class name, it's a green. Oh my god, it's a green. And now if we save that, and it will now give us a div with a class of green right here. Okay, so the second challenge is also done. I'm going to comment both of these console logs from there because we don't want it to clutter or console. So the third thing which you have to do is that select div with the ID of blue which holds a text of blue by using get element by class name. Yeah, there we go. So let's just see, we have a div with a class, not class but ID of blue, and the text is also blue. So we just have to write like const blue, and inside bul blue, and it will be now equals to document dot this get element by class name. I just copy there. I cheated a bit, you can also do cheating if you want to. And now let's just log this blue to the console, and now if you save that, okay, so the class of select the div with the ID of blue. Okay, so we are using a class name, not a class name. Get element by ID. ID, my bad. Sorry. This one is a tag, this one is a class name. Get element by ID, copy there, and I'm gonna paste it right here. Set. Alright, so here you can see it unlock uses div with the class of blue. And by the time you're watching this video, you will get this correct instruction. You will not see that query selector or whatever that was. I mean, like get element by class name, it will be a get element by ID. I'm going to comment this line out, and now what else do we have to do? Select div which has the class and ID of yellow by using create the class and ID out, and now what else do we be? I get element by ID. I'm going to comment this line out, and now what else do we have to do? Select div which has the class and ID of yellow div which has the class and ID of yellow by using query selector. Let's just see. Okay, so this one do have a W at the end, so div with the class of yellow, ID of yellow, and text of yellow. So we are going to be using that using a query selector. I'm going to just write const yellow, and it will be now equals to document dot query selector document.query selector of just yellow in the class, and let's just log that to the console real quick like yellow. So there, it will now select it as a class. We can also select it as ID because we have a yellow ID as well, and we can also select we cannot select it by anything else, so we just have to either select it by class or by ID. Alright, so that's working. Let's suppose if we just forgot to include that pound symbol, save it, it will now give us nil. We already expected that. Comment this line out. So the final thing which you have to do for this exercise is that select all of the elements which has the class of teal by using query selector all. Okay, so let me just show you that in real quick. Const all teals, you can give them any name you like, document.query selector all, and inside that we are going to be selecting our teal. Okay, so let's just log there to the console like all teals, and now if you save that, it will now select all of these teals right here. So if I hover my mouse over to it, so it will now select all of these teals right here. Okay, so let's suppose if you just provide query selector instead of query selector all, and if you save that, it will now just gives us the first one, it will not give us the rest of them. So that's just the difference between query selector and query selector all. So in this section, we just learned about accessing element by using the DOM, accessing the DOM element by using JavaScript. There we go. So now that we learned how we can access elements from a DOM, the next topic which we are going to be discussing is how we can get the inner text, inner content, and inner HTML. So we have two folders. We have a live coding. So I'm going to just open my index.html file and also the app.js file, and then we would have our exercise. Okay, so just right click on it and open app. We have a live coding. So I'm going to just open my index.html file, and I have two for we can get the inner text, inner content. The next topic which we are going to be discussing is how we can get the inner text, inner content, and inner HTML. So we have two folders. We have a live coding. So I'm going to just open my index.html file and also the app.js file, and then we would have our exercise. Okay, so just right click on it and open it with the live server. So it'll now just open our file in a live server, and I'm going also open my dev tools as well. So now I'm going to just grab this head area for now, and now here you can see we have our p tag. Inside this p tag we have a few just random words right here, and we also have this strong tag right here, and we just put a little bit of text inside this strong tag as well, and then we have a script tag inside this paragraph as well, and then we just log that to the console like Hussein here right here. Okay, and then finally we just have our h1 with the text of hello world. So in this video we are going to be learning about, in this section we are going to be learning about three properties. The first one will be inner text, the second one will be inner text content, and the third one will be inner HTML. So this is what we are going to be learning. So first of all, and the first we're going to be learning about have our h1 with the text of hello world. So in this video we are going to be learning about, in this section we are going to be learning about three three properties. The first one will be inner text, the second one will be inner like text content, and the third one will be inner HTML. So this is what we are going to be learning. So first of all, we are going to be selecting our paragraphs. So you already know how to select that. We already learned a lot about selectors. So we are going to be writing p document dot what query selector, and you can choose whichever kind of selection method you like, but I just choose query selector. So now let's just start from the first one, which is that inner text. So if you want to get the inner text from some sort of an element, so we can just use the inner text property for that. Let me just write a console.log of paragraph and then dot inner text right here. So if we save that, and now here you can say and then dot inner text right here. So if we save that, and now here you can say log uses that inner text right here, totally formatted. You know, I'm gonna open that in separate window. So you guys can see everything a bit better. Here you can see we have that Hussein here. That's because of this better. Here you can see we have that Hussein here. That's because of this better. Here you can see we have that Hussein here. That's because of this. Here you can see we have that Hussein here. That's because of this script tag right here. So we have like console.log right here. Inside this console.log we just have Hussein here right here. And you cannot see that script tags right here. It will give us all of that HTML content right here, but we cannot see that script tag, and we cannot see that Hussein here right here. If we just hit Control F, and we can also search for a script, and it will not give us any script tag right here because we don't have any. This inner text property will give us all of the text, but it will be totally formatted, and it will not give us any content, like any HTML and any JavaScript kind of a content, it will just gives us a pure text right here, just a simple pure text. All right, so that was the first one. Now let me just duplicate that, and I'm going to comment this line out, and now let's just change that to something called a text content. So if you save that, and now here you can see we are now getting this text right here, but it's totally unformatted, and we are also getting this see that script tag. That's because the script opening tag and script closing tag is HTML elements, and also these strong tags are also HTML elements. So we cannot see either a strong tag, and we cannot also see that script opening tag and script closing tag right here. So this text content property will just give us the content which is inside our HTML document. So it will not give us the HTML elements and stuff like that. It will just give us a pure text. It will give us a pure content. And this final property will give us everything. So we have an inner HTML and field save there. And now here you can see it will also include this strong tag right here, like strong opening tag and strong closing tag. And it will also include the script opening tag, script closing tag, and also this content inside the script tag. And it will now give us everything.